My phone buzzed on the coffee table for the 10th time today. The screen lit up with a familiar name, Mom. I stared at it, watching the call go to voicemail like all the others. 6 months ago, I would have answered before the second ring. 6 months ago, I was still trapped. They called me selfish for walking away. But here's the thing, I had been paying their bills for 6 years. 6 years of sacrificing everything for a family that saw me as nothing more than a walking ATM. When I finally said no, they showed their true colors. This is the story of how I broke free. If you've ever felt taken for granted by the people who should love you most, hit that subscribe button. This story is about finding your worth when others refuse to see it. Let's dive in. My name is Maya, and for most of my adult life, I believed that being a good daughter meant saying yes to everything. It meant working myself to exhaustion while my younger brother Ryan lived like a king without lifting a finger. I'm 28 years old, and I work as an accountant in downtown Denver. Every day, I wake up at 6 a.m., commute an hour to work, and put in 10-hour days. I'm good at my job, really good. I make decent money, enough to live comfortably. Or at least, I should have been living comfortably. But for 6 years, most of my paycheck went straight to my family's bills. It started small, like these things always do. My mom called one evening, her voice shaky with worry. "Sarah, honey, your dad's hours got cut at the warehouse. We're short on the electric bill this month. Could you help us out? Just this once. Just this once." Those 3 words became the soundtrack to my life. I was 22 then, fresh out of college with my first real job. I wanted to help. I loved my family, and family helps family, right? So I sent the $180 for their electric bill. Mom cried with relief over the phone, promising she'd pay me back as soon as Dad's hours picked up. That was 6 years ago. I never saw that money again. The requests started coming more frequently. First, it was the water bill, then the gas bill, then the internet. Each time, Mom would call with that same shaky voice, that same promise to pay me back. And each time, I said yes. "Maya, you're such a good daughter," she'd say. "I don't know what we'd do without you." Those words felt like gold back then. I craved their approval, their recognition. I thought if I just helped enough, sacrificed enough, they'd finally see how valuable I was. But there was always another crisis. Dad's car broke down. Could I cover the repair? Ryan's college tuition was due. Could I help with half? The mortgage payment was late. Could I send what I could? My brother Ryan, 2 years younger than me, had dropped out of college after his sophomore year. He said he wanted to find himself, and moved back into our childhood bedroom. That was 4 years ago. He's still there. While I worked myself to the bone, Ryan spent his days playing video games and hanging out with friends. He had no job, no responsibilities, no pressure to contribute anything to the household. When I'd visit on weekends, I'd find him sprawled on the couch, eating snacks I'd paid for, watching Netflix on the account I'd bought. "Ryan's going through a tough time," Mom would explain whenever I brought up his unemployment. "He's sensitive. He needs support, not judgment." But when I asked for a single month off from sending money because I wanted to save for a car down payment, suddenly I was being selfish. The breaking point came on a cold February evening. I just worked a 12-hour day, staying late to finish a complex audit for our biggest client. My back ached, my eyes burned, and all I wanted was to go home and collapse. My phone rang as I was walking to my car. "Mom. Maya, we have an emergency. The furnace broke, and it's going to cost $800 to fix. We're freezing over here. I know you just sent the mortgage payment, but could you please help us out? Just this once. Just this once." Again. I sat in my car in the dark parking lot, engine running, heater blasting. I was so tired I could barely keep my eyes open. I'd been sending them $1,300 every month for years. $1,300. That was more than my rent. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. My checking account balance stared back at me. $431. $431. After working 60-hour weeks for months, after sacrificing every small pleasure, every coffee shop visit, every dinner out with friends, I had $431 to my name. "Maya, are you there?" Mom's voice crackled through the phone. I transferred the money. All of it. Every last dollar except what I needed for gas to get home. That night, I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop and did something I should have done years earlier. I opened a spreadsheet and calculated exactly how much money I'd sent my family. The number made me sick. $78,000. In 6 years, I had given them $78,000. I had receipts, bank statements, and transaction records. It was all there in black and white. $78,000, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. I thought about my one-bedroom apartment with a leaky faucet I couldn't afford to fix. I thought about my 2017 Toyota with 150,000 miles that desperately needed new tires. I thought about the vacation I'd never taken, the emergency fund I'd never built, the retirement account I'd never started. Also, my family could live comfortably while my brother played video games. The next morning, I called my mom and asked for a family meeting. I drove to their house, the house I'd helped save from foreclosure twice, with my laptop and printed bank statements. They were all there, Mom, Dad, and Ryan. They sat around the kitchen table like they were humoring a child, barely looking up when I walked in. "What's this about, honey?" Mom asked, stirring her coffee. "We're watching the game." I opened my laptop and turned the screen toward them. "This is about money. Our money situation." Ryan snorted. "Here we go. Maya's money lecture." I ignored him and clicked through my spreadsheet. "In the past 6 years, I've sent you $78,000. That's an average of $1,083 per month, every month, for 72 months straight." Dad glanced at the screen, then looked away. "We appreciate your help, Sarah." "You know that, do you?" I asked. "Because I'm wondering what you think I'm getting out of this arrangement." Mom set down her coffee cup harder than necessary. "You're getting the satisfaction of helping your family. Some people would be grateful for the opportunity to give back." "Grateful?" I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Mom, I have $400 in my bank account." $400. I work 60 hours a week, and I can't afford to fix my car. Ryan finally looked up from his phone. "Maybe you should get a better job then." The silence that followed was deafening. I stared at my little brother, my 26-year-old little brother who hadn't worked a day in 4 years, and something inside me snapped. "You're right," I said quietly. "I should get a better job. And I should start keeping the money I earn at that job." Mom's face went pale. "Maya, what are you saying?" "I'm saying this arrangement is over. I'm not your ATM anymore." Dad leaned forward. "Now hold on, Sarah. We're family. Family takes care of each other." "You're right," I agreed. "Family does take care of each other. So when are you going to start taking care of me?" The question hung in the air. No one answered. "When's the last time any of you asked how I'm doing?" I continued. "When's the last time you asked if I needed help? When's the last time you even said thank you?" "We say thank you," Mom protested. "When? Show me one text message where you thanked me for paying your bills." I waited. They couldn't. Jake rolled his eyes. "Drama queen. We get it, you want attention." "I want respect," I shot back. "I want to be treated like a person instead of a piggy bank." "You're being ridiculous," Mom said, her voice rising. "We're not forcing you to help us. You choose to do it. Because you guilt me into it. Every phone call is an emergency. Every request comes with a sob story about how desperate you are. But you're not desperate. You're comfortable. You're comfortable because I'm uncomfortable." I closed my laptop and stood up. "I'm done." "Sarah, sit down," Dad said firmly. "Let's talk about this like adults." I am talking like an adult. An adult who just realized she's been enabling 3 other adults to avoid taking responsibility for their own lives. I headed for the door, but Mom's voice stopped me. "If you walk out that door, don't expect to come crawling back when you need us." I turned around slowly. "Need you? For what?" "Money. You don't have any. Emotional support? You've never offered any. Love. You've shown me that your love comes with a price tag." Ryan stood up. his face red with anger. You're a selfish bitch, Maya. You always thought you were better than us. I never thought I was better than you, I said calmly. But I'm finally realizing I deserve better than this. I walked out and didn't look back. That was 6 months ago. 6 months of silence from my end, and 6 months of increasingly desperate phone calls and text messages from theirs. At first, the messages were angry. Dad called me ungrateful. Mom said I was destroying the family. Ryan sent a string of insults I won't repeat. Then they pleaded. The mortgage was behind. The electricity was about to be shut off. They were going to lose the house. But here's what they didn't know. I'd already contacted their mortgage company. I'd learned that I could remove my name from any accounts I'd been helping with. I'd also learned that they qualified for assistance programs they'd never bothered to apply for because it was easier to call me. The most recent message came yesterday. It was from Mom, and it was different from the others. Maya, I've been thinking about what you said. Maybe we took advantage of your kindness. Maybe we didn't appreciate you enough. Could we please talk? I read it 3 times. Part of me wanted to respond, wanted to believe that they'd finally understood. But I'd learned something important in these 6 months of silence. I'd learned what peace felt like. For the first time in 6 years, I had money in my savings account. I'd fixed my car, taken a weekend trip to Seattle, and started contributing to a retirement fund. I'd bought groceries without checking my account balance first. I'd remembered what it felt like to live my own life. I still love my family. I probably always will. But I finally understand the difference between love and exploitation. I understand that being family doesn't give someone the right to drain you dry. My phone is buzzing again. It's Mom. I'm not going to answer. But for the first time in years, that doesn't make me feel guilty. It makes me feel free. Sometimes the most radical act of self-love is saying no to the people who've taught you that your worth is measured by what you can give them. I'm not their safety net anymore. I'm not their backup plan. I'm just Maya, living my own life on my own terms. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family members who took advantage of your kindness? Share your story in the comments below. And if this video resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real stories about finding your worth. Sometimes the people who should support us the most are the ones we need to walk away from. Remember, you deserve better than being someone's ATM.